Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Megan 033 puzzle. As you can see, this one is not a Fog of War. They have another series out that I think it has like 5 or 6 puzzles now, where it's the concept is they're all rings of some sort, but they're using a different a line type or something like that for each puzzle. So this one is called a square sum ring. Of course, by Megan 033, and we're going to be using region sums in this particular puzzle. And depending on how this one goes, I might go look at some of the other puzzles as well, and we'll see how those all go. So let me know if you like this one in the comments, and we'll have more of them. So with that said, let's look at the rules. Normal Sudoku, every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. Box borders divide the blue lines into segments of equal sum. Different lines may have different sums. So whatever these 3 digits add up to, that will be the total value of this line. Therefore, these must add up to that same value. These must add to that same value because these are in separate regions. Same goes with these. These 2 digits, whatever they add up to, will be a value, and these guys will have to add up to that same value. That's region sums. Now, we also have digits in a cage do not repeat and sum to the clue in the top left if given, so killer cages. So these guys will add to 9. These guys don't have a clue given, so the restraint on them is that we cannot repeat digits in that cage. Then we have adjacent cells connected with a V must sum to 5. We've got a few of those. So each one of these groupings will add to 5. And then we have white dots between cells indicate cells with consecutive values. Not all dots are given, so this is partial Kropki. So these will be consecutive, these will be consecutive, etc. And finally, we have cells with a filled gray square must be even. So these will all be even because they have a gray square on them. And that's it. So those are the rules. Like I said, a little bit different from most of the puzzles that I've done from Megan 033 because I really love their Fog puzzles. So, but branching out a little bit, we're going to do one's not Fog of War, and we'll get back to their Fog of Wars because there's still tons of those left over to do. I just can't get to all of them as quickly as I'd like to. So anyway, links in the description below. Let's give this thing a try, see if we can figure it out. So first things first, I'll start with the V's. There's only 2 ways to make 5s, so they must be from 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can also just put in our even digits here and then remove the 2 and the 4 and the 2 and the 4 from these guys, just so we have them. Don't have to think about them anymore. They're just marked. Now, we can start to think, I guess, about how this region sum line, or either one of these is going to start to work, because we know the bare minimum now here is going to be 5, 6, which is 11, because we've used 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily where we need to be looking. The same will occur here. 5, 6 is the bare minimum. But the problem with that is we have 3 digits that get us up to that minimum value of 11. It could be higher than 11, but that's just the min. Now, we could also think about our old friend Fistamafel and see if that helps us any. Because essentially what it's saying is, if you recall what Fistamafel is, I'm not going to go into all these specifics of why it is this way, but these digits here in the corners will be the exact same these guys, as these guys. So we're going to know that there is there are 2 sets of 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s on this guy. We're also going to know that there is a 6 and an 8 in these guys. I guess what it also means, though, is that we can't have another 6, 8, because you can never have 8 and 6 together. So these will be a 2, 4 pair. And we're going to know that one of these has a 6 in it. The other one has an 8 in it. Oh, no, we don't. They don't have 8s at all. What am I thinking of? They don't have to be different groupings. Let's go back for a second and removing those. We can't ever put 8 in a 12 cage. What am I thinking? Because we'd be left with 4 in 3 cells. So these are actually just both 6s, which means these are not 6s. Now, again, the 8 won't work because of the 12 cage, so this does turn out to be the 2-4. We just had to get at it a slightly different way. So we know exactly what these guys are, because there will be a 6 in each of them. Then will be 3 digits left over that have to add to 6, so they will be 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6, which means both of these are 4s, because we've just removed the 2 as an option. We also know that we have 1, 2s, 3s, can't be any of these, so these are 1, 2, 3. Same is going to occur here, 1, 2, 3, and here, 1, 2, 3, and here, 1, 2, 3, because we have X-wings looking in all directions of 1s, 2s, and 3s. So we've kind of now flushed out our Fistamafel groupings. I'm going to get rid of the blue, and I'll just put it in yellow just so that we can see the lines better. Don't know why I put blue in there to begin with, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. So, what is this now given us? I'm going to start looking at some of these restrictions of the non-repetition, but I don't know that we have quite enough just yet. Can also start thinking about these 12 cages maybe, because we've used 1, 2, and 3, so we know the bare minimums that going into here are 4 or 5, but that's only up to 9, so there's still leeway in both of these. What else can we say? I guess we can think about all of these are going to be the same values, because we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 on all of them. So 5, 7, 8s, and 9s. We could also just think about the regions to do those, but now, do we have any reductions that we could do on any of these? It's a good question, because now our minimum has increased. We did say it was, what, 11 at first, because we were thinking out 5 and 6. We've removed the 6, so it's 5, 7 now. So we're up to a 12. These could be anywhere between 12 and 17, because obviously the most you can ever put is a 9-8 pair. Is that gonna get us too much? Good question. I don't know if it does a ton there. I guess we know one of these is a 2, so this is not. And this ring is actually kind of, I wouldn't say it's worthless, but we didn't even need to really use this as the region sum, because they, by power of Fistamafel, they were always going to be the same digits, adding up to 6. But anyway, what's the next place we can jump in here? Again, I was hoping it would be this kind of grouping, but it isn't necessarily. There might be some juxtapositions of some of these cages that we have to kind of flush out here as well. But what would that be? Or something with the 9 cage or the 12 cages. What is it? I guess these guys are limited to an extent. Well, maybe not, really. I mean, because the 12 cages are either going to be 4, 8, or 5, 7. Those are the only options we can do because we can't use 1, 2s, and 3s. But how can we use that to our advantage? Can we start to think about maybe because of these digits, there are some restrictions to what this guy can be. Can't be 1, 2, or 2, 3. I guess it could be 3, 4. Cannot be 4 or 5 because it would break the 12. But then it could be anything. Well, I mean, there's going to be reductions, obviously, if it was a 9 clue. This can't be 9, 8, or 7. So this can't be 9 or 8. I was hoping this 9 clue would give us something of use. We could still go up to 6 because this could be a 1, 2 pair. And that wouldn't cause a problem. If this is a 3, we're pushing the 1s and 2s here. It would be a 3, 4. That seems perfectly fine. Or is it? Let's think about the 9 cage in relation to that. If this is a 3, either one of these is a 3, I guess. Let's start here. If this is a 3, these are 1s and 2s. That's the 3. That's the 4. What is this? The bare minimum it could be is 5. I guess that would work. No, it wouldn't. Because if this was a 3 and this is a 5, this would have to be a 1. But this 3 also says that these have to be a 1, 2 pair. So that can't be 3. Does the same thing occur here? If this is 3, 4, it might not because of... Well, actually, it still does for a different reason, because of this 12. If this is a 3 and this is a 4, this has to be a 5, 7. To make the 12 work, which means this minimum is actually a 6 with the 4, which is already 10. So this is not a 3, 4 pair. Okay, we said it can't be a 4, 5 pair, so there's no 4. So one of these is a 6. It's either a 5, 6 or a 5, 7, which will determine the 12. Okay. The other thing we can start to think about is this row now, because we know one of these is going to be a 9. If this is a high digit, 5 or 6, these have to be fairly low. What can they go up to? 1, 2, or 3. Right? Because if it's 5, you could do 1, 2, or 1, 3. And if it's 6, it's 1, 2. We can never put a 4 because we get, yeah, okay. So we get the 1, 2, 3 triples going this way and that way, but that's, again, not necessarily giving us anything. Unless there's a little bit more to think about in terms of how these guys work. So whatever goes with the 9 is what's left over from here. So if this was a 5, 6, this becomes 4, 8, and this becomes 7. If this is 6, 7, Wait, either way is the same. This can't be 5, 7, duh. So, because this is either 5, 6, or 6, 7, so the 5 or the 7 is always taken up. So this is a 4, 8. Okay. Does that say this? What does it say this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. This is either 5, 9, or 7. Okay. What more do we have out of that? Still don't think our region sum here is doing a ton for us. But I could be wrong, because we're starting to pare down what these can be. So what is the bare minimum we get here? 5, 6, and 4, I guess, which is 15. So that removes a 5 from here. Because if we had a 5, the highest we could ever get to obviously would be 14, 9, 5. But these bare minimums are getting us to the 15. Now, is it possible to have a 9 in one of these two? Because that would get us to 14, plus another 4 is a minimum of 18. That will never work. These can't have 9s, which means one of these is a 9, so these are not. Let's mark that. And then let's think about maybe the totals that we can put here. Again, our bare minimum is 15. That could work with a 7, 8. Then we could possibly have, well, can this ever be an 8? The answer to that is going to be no, because this is a bare minimum of, again, 11. So we'd be at 19 total, and that will never work. So this is 4, 8, but okay, that does work here, because that says this, what these guys are, and that's going to translate a little bit at least. So the 1, 6 does look back, good. So we get the 5, 7 now. Perfect. That now tells us what this value is. So we've got our 7 and 5, we're at 12. This is 16, so this must be a 9, 7 pairing. Okay, what else we got? Making a little bit of progress. The 5, 7 says this is the 9 and the 7. Okay, this can't be 9, 5, or 7, so it is 8. So none of these are. These are also not 8s. Just making sure. Yeah, let's look at this guy. This column has some givens here. The 8 says this is 5 and 7, so therefore this is 8. These are not from the 7s. This can't be an 8. This can't be a 7. These can't have 9s on them. Or 5s. So we get a 7, 8, which means these are not 7s or 8s. So we get the 5, 9, which means these are not 5, 9. These can't have 7s, so that's a 5, 9. Anything else there? Good question. We might have to start looking at these guys, these other region sums, to see what will tally out. Just trying to scan a little bit, see if there's any more of this obvious stuff in here. We do get a 1, 2, 3 now in this region, which pushes something. Well, it sort of pushes. It says This is from 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9. I don't know how wonderful that is, but it's there, so we will acknowledge the fact. Let's see, I was hoping we'd get these guys resolved as well. Doesn't seem like we quite have yet. We're going to have to get something else going maybe here that looks up like these did. Okay, let's, which one do we want to look at? We've got a given digit here. We have some possibilities up here. I don't know which one I like, to be honest with you. We could also start thinking about what this could be. But I don't know if that's as helpful yet. But let's give it a look-see real quick and see. Because we can't have 1, 2, 3. Or 3, 4. So we're looking at from 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We can't put a 9 on it, obviously. No, I was hoping we'd get something maybe across here that would be of slight use, but it doesn't quite appear to be. The next stage would be to start looking at some of these guys. But again, I think I'd rather start with a given digit, so at least we have some reduction of what these values could be. Let's think about these. Okay. What do we have? Is there anything that's guaranteed reduced like there was over here? Is it possible we ever have a 9? Because we'd have a bare minimum of 6 here. Or sorry, of 9 here. 4 plus 5 is 9, I can add. So 9 and 9 would be 18. There's no way. The same goes for here. Now, if none of those can be 9s, this is a 9. So 9, 5. This can't be 5, so this can't be 7. Now we know this has to add up to 17. How do we make that work? What's the bare minimum we can do is 4, 5, 6, which is 15. Does that exclude the 8? It does not. Well, yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. I was trying to think of if we do have an 8 on here, it would have to be 8, 4, 5. But then what do we put to make this work? Because if these are 8, 4, and 5, oh no, that would work. Sorry, the 5 could go with the 7. Okay. Again, little. Thought I had something, didn't quite have something. Okay. Did we get anything out of these other? We know there's a 5 on here. There's a start. So we'd have to hit 12 more with what we've got left over. Could be 4, 8. Is that the only possibility? Because if there is a 5 here, we need 12 more. 4, 8 would work. 6, 7 doesn't add to 12. Neither does 7, 4, or 6, 4. So yeah, this has to be an 8, 4 then. 4, 5, 8. So this has to be 7, which means this has to be 5. Get rid of the 5s. That is going to be useful. Let's make sure I'm right. 8, 12 plus 5 is 17, so that is correct. Okay, so these have to be 6 and 9. The 4 here, well, the 8, let's start there, says this is 7 and 8. Then these are not 4s, which means these are not 1s. So one of these is a 1, which means this is 6 and 1. Good. 3, 4, okay. This being a 7 now, can we start to cut over to this guy and what it can be? I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start looking at our options there. Or we can just say this is a 6. Little detail. Which means these must be a 1-2 pair to get to 9. I guess we know what these digits are as well. We can put them in for the moment. They have to be 4, 8, and 9. This can't be 8. I think we can probably rule out 9s from this guy too, so maybe we start up here. What are you guys? 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Could we ever have a 9? No, it's the same concept here. There's no way we can put a 9 on here, because if we do, we have a bare minimum of 4 or 5 to go with, which is another 9, so it's 18. You can't make 18 in these. So these are not 9s. That forces the 9 here. Same thing as down here. That forces the 5. We're forcing a 5 onto this line as well. Now it's either 16 or 17 here, so can we determine which one can be done if we have a 5 like we did down here? So if it's 16 and we have 5, we would need 11 more. We can't ever make that happen. 6, 4, 8, 4, nothing works. So this can't, this is the 8 and the 7. That forces this to be 17. Again, if we have a 5, the only way to make it work is going to be with the 8, 4. Get rid of those. That forces the 9. This is not 9. These become 6 and 7. Therefore, you're not 6. Okay, we have a 1, 2, 3, so this is 4 and 1. They're not 1s. Good. We know one of these is a 6. We'll probably come back to that. Let's start thinking about 8s and 7s. This can't be 8. This can't be 7. Anything else we can say? The 1, 2, 3 isn't reducing this guy any. The 1, 2, 3 isn't reducing this guy any. So let's try to find the next spot. It's going to have to just be this guy, I guess. So let's think about what it is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know there's no 8. The same concept with the 9s. We can never put a 9 on this thing because we would have the 4 or 5 left over. Therefore, this is 9. Good. Now, the most this can ever be is 16. The lowest it can be is 12. It can't be 12 because 4, 5, 6 would be the bare minimum we could do here. That's 14. So this has to be the 9. Or we could have just looked here. That's the 5. Again, we don't like doing things the easy way. That's not good. Anyway, what are these guys then? Because these have to add to 16. So how do we make that work? Is it 4, 5, 7 the only way? I think it is, because 4, 5, 6 obviously won't work. It's not enough. So we know we have a 7. We know we also have a 5. So if we take it from that side, because of the column, we've got our 7, we've got our 5. We're at 12. We need to get to 16, so we need the 4. So this is 4, 5, 7. This is not 4. That 4, 5, 7 says this is not 4, so this is. That gives us the 1. And these are a 2, 3 pair. These are not 2, 3s, so this is 6. This is 1. This is not 1. This is not 6. This can't be 4, so this is. That figures our 8 here. I'm waiting for these guys to all break apart now. I think we're right at the edge of it, so and here we go. This 8, these two have to be from 6 and 8, and it can't be 8, so it's 6. 8, 9, 6. We've got a 1, 2, 3, and a 5, 7, so these guys have to be from 4 and 9. I don't see a cross on those yet, but there might be some triple or something looking here. Let's look elsewhere, though. These have to be from 3, 5, and 7. Well, that didn't necessarily do much there. Oh, the 8 here, we'll say this is the 4, though. Let's get rid of these. Just trying to scan through all the, because we have so many pencil marks going on right now. I want to make sure I'm seeing what can be seen. The 8 here, 7 and 5, there we go. That forces this to be the 7. These are not 7, so that's a 3, 5 pair, which means this is 1 and the 2. This is 7 and 5, there we go. These are not 2s. These are not 1s, so this is the 2, 3 pair that we get to eventually. What else? 5, 1, 2, 4, 9. 6 and the 2 here says this is not a 2. Any other negatives here? These cages haven't really done anything yet, which is interesting. I guess it means that one of these is a 1. Because we can't do a 2, 3 because it would break this, so we do get a little bit of work there. Are there any other clues I've missed here? I don't think so. So let's go back to thinking about what these guys are. And maybe, again, there is some kind of... Yeah, there's the 1, 2, 3 triple. I kind of got lost in the sauce there. So this is 5, 3. That forces the 1. The 5 says 8 and 5. The 8 is going to switch the 4 and the 8. The 4 says 9 and 4. The 9 comes down to the 6 and the 9. There we go. That forces 7, 6. Good. This has to be a 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And this is all collapsing now. Good. 2 and 3. And now we're going to have something look into these guys. It is the 1, 2. So, and this one. So me talking bad about these cages worked out because it got things going. This is 3 and 2. This becomes a 3 and 2 and 3 and 2. There we go. We got to finish this. This is 3. This is 2. There we go. You saw the puzzle. Solution is correct. Perfect. 300 some solves in 4 days. Pretty good. Great puzzle, as always. Like I said, not Fog of War, but that's fine. We got to delve into our Fistimefell, which we don't do very often, which is lovely. And we had some nice deductions about what these could be. Had to kind of pick apart some of these region sums to get going, but once we got those understood, it started to work around and make everything else work out great. So, excellent puzzle as always. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.